Live from a different abandoned location every time, and filmed in front of absolutely no audience, it's the Chance of Negli-Gents Podcast. The podcast where we interview internet content creators of all kinds and sizes.
All right, what's up?
All right, cool. We're going. Let me pull up my questionnaire here. Okay. Hello, Tiny Tanker. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is Roman the Russian. We are here with TinyTanker44 TV. That is your name, right? Are you gonna ever change that to just Tiny Tanker, or?
I actually did on Twitch. I managed to, because I had my old account was TinyTanker44 on when I had Twitch on Xbox, but I had I couldn't figure out the sign in for that, so I had to create a new account, which is the one I'm using now. But I waited, excuse me, I had to wait 6 months to get my original name back.
Wow, okay. All right, so that's why I was asking. I was like, so did, what happened? I've been trying to change my name on Twitch from Roman_the_Russian to just Roman the Russian, which is my normal handle for everything else, but there's just one account that hasn't been used in years that won't let me.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
I managed to just spam enough passwords that I knew of from my old account, and so I was able to essentially delete the account. And they said that, well, I had to change the name to something else, and then I deleted the account. But they said that the name would be available in the name pool in 6 months, and it was a long wait, but it was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it, so I can get my original name back.
I mean, I guess I'll have to try again. Hopefully, I'll look at the person and be like, they haven't streamed in a hot minute. Let me try that again. So maybe I'll try that after recording this. Okay, so let me ask you this: what inspired you to start creating content in the first place?
So, I remember on the Xbox there was Mixer. And I decided to open the app because I never did. I never knew what it was. I thought Mixer was some sort of content creation app, and it was. But then I saw all these people streaming video games and all the chat interacting with the people, and I thought wow, that's really cool. And only later did I find out that they could make money from all this with sponsorships or just ads and whatnot. And I'm forget the money. This is cool. I get to meet other people from across the world playing video games. People get to watch me play video games. I might not be good, but I mean, shoot, I got jokes.
I mean, hey, I'm not good at it either. So I understand that. Okay, well that kind of answers one of the follow-up questions I had later.
But what's another reason why? Because I saw their gaming rooms, because they all had their video cameras on, and their gaming rooms were RGB and some G Fuel in the back, or some kind of energy drinks in the back in a small fridge.
Yeah, the mini fridge filled with
Posters
Red Bull
all
or
over the
Monster.
place. Yeah, and I'm just dude, that's the life.
You're like, oh man, I wish I got free Monster or G Fuel.
Yeah, and then I found out energy drinks are bad for you.
Yeah, and you're like, man, gamer subs so bad, but the waifu cups though, that's. I'll take those.
Is that are those the cups with the
anime girls with the giant boobs? Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's gamer subs. All right, cool. So one of my other questions is, do you I'm just gonna ask this. I don't have any idea if you do, but you probably don't really know what this is. But do you have any experience with search engine optimization?
Search engine optimization.
Yeah, or SEO.
I don't know.
Do you even know what that is?
Negative Ghostwriter.
Negative Ghostwriter. Okay, so search engine optimization is basically what it sounds like. So whenever you're creating a website, or you have your social media stuff like Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, you try to optimize all of your stuff to either have like the same name, or if you have your own private website that links like like for example, you know how some YouTubers are like, I don't make money on YouTube, so I'm just gonna build my own website, right?
Yeah.
So they get all the ad revenue from that website. So they have to optimize it so that whenever people look it up on Google, it's one of the first things that comes up. Otherwise, it'll just get buried on like page 84 of Google. Which, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
if you ever go to the furthest back end pages of any Google search, it's the best. There's just some really, really hilarious like search results back there. Also, very disturbing sometimes. So I just be very careful with it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now that you explain it, I think I've heard it in like another phrase, but I just can't remember what phrase that they coined it with.
It's okay. You're not the first one to like really not understand what that is. It's a very complicated like topic.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy to explain what it is. It's basically you just optimize whatever social media or website you have so it shows up on the search engines like better, right?
Yeah.
But Google like only slaps people on top that like are sponsored anyway. So you have to like just be really careful with it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, cool. So one of my next questions is, do you have a process for creating content? Is there like a very specific, process that you do for like before you start streaming, or like whenever you do stream, or like if you make YouTube videos or TikToks, do you do anything special for that?
Not really, no. I'm like those free gameplay channels essentially. I just edit out all the boring stuff and then put all like the action packed stuff into like into like my video and then post it on there. Like I don't really have like a specific type of like, oh, this weapon, I'll use this weapon in Hunt Showdown or this weapon in Call of Duty is broken, because I understand there's like a niche for that content. I actually follow people who do that kind of content, but mostly because I like to see them drop nukes in bot lobbies. But I digress. But I essentially just record, and if it's like a cracked out gameplay that I managed to get, like if I managed to solo wipe like 3 teams that all showed up at spawn, I'll use that, But other than that, I just press record and kind of go with the flow. I don't really have a process.
So very like guerrilla guerrilla style of like recording where you're just like, hey, whatever happens, I guess.
Yeah, essentially.
To be fair, I'm also the same way whenever I stream. Like, but whenever I try to make clips from like whatever is on my stream, then I put a little bit more like thought into it because I have to edit it and all that, like post production. It's but whenever I stream, I just hit record and I just hit live and I go. So I understand that. It seems like if you think about it too much, personally, this is why I do it that way. If I think about it too much, I feel like I'll just get bogged down with the anxiety if I don't hit live and just wing it, because I'll just be like, you know how a lot of people say, hey, you need to pre-plan your stream, you need to have an idea of what you want to do on stream, like questions you want to ask and interact with an audience. As a smaller streamer and content creator, you don't really get a lot of chat interaction at first, like when you first start out, or at least for a while. I've been streaming for like 3 years, right? And I just like only just now am I getting more chat interaction. So yeah, that's understandable. It's very hard to try to plan around that whenever you're just trying to like stream, right? So like if you think about it too much, the anxiety gets to you and you're like, I don't want to stream anymore, thanks.
Yeah, I feel that. Cause like
yeah, go ahead.
Cause like they're like when I usually like when I don't have people to play with, that's when like, oh shoot, I don't know what to do, and not really like playing alone. So I just kind of had to go with the flow. Like if I was just playing solo, so be it. If I die a lot, so be it. But I could there's some good content out of it. You might get like want to know 4 kills in solos, but you died to you died as like a Spitzer sniper or something. But I mean, you still got 4 kills. You were able to hold down the line and get some nasty clips. But to me, I just like the only time I actually think about it, like whenever I like plan something out, is pretty basic. Like I set a goal for the game where like essentially like my last streams where I said, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go grind for prestige 100, right? That's probably gonna be my content for a while until I reach prestige 100.
And then you're like, man, now I gotta figure out what to do with Hunt Showdown. That's gonna be different.
Yeah, essentially.
Maybe like once you hit prestige 100, you should just have like redeems where you only run like poison loadouts or only incendiary loadouts or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe have like a redeem on your channel where you're like, here's a game suggestion. You have to play it no matter what. Like, so long as it's like appropriate for stream, like it can't be like, something really that's blacklisted on Twitch. Otherwise, you just get instantly banned. But like one of the things I have on my to play list is like Alt F4 and Alt F4 2. It's that game where you play. It's a rage game where you play as a knight and you do an obstacle course. That's on my list of things to do eventually. But that's a redeem I've been like toying around with the idea a bit.
A rage game. I don't think I've ever heard of a rage game other than what's that? Only Up?
Oh yeah, there's Only Up and then Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Those are the like some of the most famous ones. If you ever see like TikToks or YouTube shorts of people doing an obstacle course as a knight, those are the Alt F4 games.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my next question is, do you collaborate with other creators? And if so, how do you find fellow creatives?
I used to do a lot of Hunt Showdown collabs. Essentially, we would just like get together and play Hunt, and that's basically what the collab was. Very basic, but I mean, I like to think of it of just a bunch of friends having fun. I had a Hunt partner for a while, but eventually she got burned out of Hunt and essentially quit it, uninstalled it. I don't know if she's ever coming back.
I mean, Hunt does that to you.
Yeah, she quit it, uninstalled it, and went to Final Fantasy. And I mean, that's fine. I still lurk her streams and whatnot. I'm not upset about it, but now I'm running solo. And even then, in the very beginning of my Hunt days, I met these two twin brothers named Mr. Birdmuffin and Afterlife. And they're
Mr. Birdmuffin?
Yes, Mr. Birdmuffin and Afterlife. And they were both streamers, and I was just going around on Twitch looking for, small streamers to lurk, and this is when I was in the middle of getting my driver's license. And so I was just gonna leave something on in the background while I'm studying. Mm-hmm. And then I found them. And so I was doing that. I was lurking them, and then after I was done studying, I went back to the stream, started interacting with them, talking with them, whatnot. And they were doing duos, and they were getting stomped on. At least, that's what their matches were saying. But they were like, "Hey, do you play Hunt? Do you want to join in with us?" And I was like, sure." And then from then on, I was 15 or 16 years old. And then ever since then, like I've known them all the way up till now. What is so the 16, 17? It's like 2.5 years maybe. Because I was studying for my driver's license at 15, and then when I turned 16, we went to the DMV and got my license.
Hey man, I'm glad you got your driver's license in the end of that story. I'm like, hey man, I wonder if you got it.
But like it was crazy though, because like they just like invited me to a game of Hunt, and then I gained, hopefully, I think, lifelong friends. And what's crazy is that they have their own lives. They got, one's going to nursing school, another one works in corporate, and they both got kids and whatnot. So it's like it's crazy, dude.
I mean, that's what happens to everyone, it seems like, unless you're like super dedicated to streaming, where you're like, I'm only gonna stream on like Saturday every week. Every other day of the week is just like for school and work and like the rest of my life.
Well, that's the thing. Afterlife used to stream, especially when he got married and then he had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But then he slowly started to fall off, and now we just play Back for Blood every now and then with Mr. Bird Muffin.
I mean, that's understandable whenever you do get married and like you have a kid. That takes up a lot of your time, especially like if the kid's screaming all the time. You're just like, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been like friends on Twitch for. Like we've been, you started following me like almost what, like 2-3 years ago. It was sometime around that time.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago for sure, because yeah, I don't know how I met you. I don't remember.
Was that like before or after you met like Mr. Bird Muffin?
I met you after I met Mr. Bird Muffin. The only reason why I got into Hunt Showdown was these two English guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the Chunky Bears.
That's a good name.
yeah, they were
That's a really good name.
A streamer duo, and they played Hunt Showdown on the PS4. And I saw the game, and I'm like, oh wow, I want the game. That looks cool. Little did I know that I was walking to a trap.
You're like, this game is cursed.
This game, yeah, Hunt Showdown is cursed, but I still love the game. It's a toxic relationship, but it works. It works.
I mean, hey, whatever works, I guess.
But I heard the game was cross-platform, and I wanted to buy the game on PC because I was slowly switching over from console to PC, and Hunt Showdown was essentially my gateway FPS game.
Mm-hmm.
But the other games I played on PC was I think it was Minecraft.
I mean, hey, everybody likes Minecraft.
Yeah, dude, at Minecraft, dude, that's my thing, bro. That's my thing.
That's your jam, yeah.
That's my jam. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Hunt Showdown with the Chunky Bears because they're doing a community night. Later, did I find out through research that the game is not cross-platform with console and PC.
Oh no.
So I'm like, oh, I'm alone on this one.
And then you're just like, well, time to find other people to play Hunt Showdown on PC, I guess.
It's essentially, yeah. Well, that wasn't my first thought. My first thought was, I'm gonna have to solo this. And I can't tell you how scared I was in my first ever game. It was an experience. My first ever game was quick play, and throughout the entire first match of my quick play, my microphone was on continuous, so people could hear me as I was like rambling to myself while on stream. I was streaming this too, while I was on stream and trying to not like trying to calm myself down. Essentially, that's what I was doing. And I would always get jump scared from like the grunts that were laying down on the ground. And then they just like pop up and start screaming at you. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
For me, it was the Hellhounds. The Hellhounds scare me to this day. You're just walking along. You're like, oh, look, I see a pack of 4 rabid zombie dogs. And every time you think you've killed one, you're just like, you turn around and you just get bit. And you're like, now I'm dying. What is happening?
Yeah. Dude, the Hellhounds, dude. If I had to remove at least one AI from the game, it would probably be Hellhounds. Right above Immortals.
No, crows 100%.
No, crows
Birds.
are different. Those are noise traps.
I mean, still, I would get rid of the birds altogether.
Get rid of the birds.
But yeah, the Hellhounds are like really. I don't know. I kind of like the Hellhounds. I just like the variety of like enemies that they have in the game so far. I'm sure that if they like Crytek is who I mean by they, but if Crytek kind of put in more effort, they could probably come up with better enemies other than just grunts, armoreds, hellhounds, and
Hives and stuff. And
hives,
water
and
demons.
meatheads. Like, I'm sure if they added like a new enemy, people would be like hyped a little bit, or they'd just be really disappointed and they'd be like, "Why? Why are you like this?"
I mean, we have doctor grunts, so why not ammo grunts? They carry around ammo boxes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then the medics that like drop medkits now.
Yep.
So interesting that Hunt Showdown like started out as a completely different game, and then now it is what it is.
Yeah.
It used to be like a battle royale, but now it's just like it less of like the stereotypical battle royale, because you're just like, instead of a storm closing in, you're just like, nah, I just have to get clues and then find the boss lair, kill the boss lair, and then dip. Like, you have to actually extract off the map. Yeah. Yeah. So the clues are basically the storm, but like you don't take damage if you like, you're just there. All right, cool. Also, I just realized that I think I do follow Mr. Bird Muffin.
I think we may have played with Mr. Bird Muffin before. I think you have.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I got raided once by him, and then like we were playing games together at one point, probably like a year and a half ago. So I could be wrong. But like I'm like, that name definitely sounds familiar, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it in my chat before. So that's nice. We got a little bit of cross pollination, which is how we probably met. You probably like came in on a raid or something. From like,
was
Prof.
it from like Salt F4 or?
Yeah, Salt F4.
Because I remember I met Prof, and then I started like seeing all these other creators who are in Salt F4, and then Prof gave me the idea to join Salt F4, and I was like, sure, yeah, I'll fill out my resume and stuff and put it forth.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That would probably explain it, because I do remember us having conversations early on in the Assault F4 Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So my next question is, do you enjoy the act of content creation, whether that's streaming or like editing or like making TikToks, YouTube shorts, whatever? I think you said that you don't really make TikToks or YouTube shorts.
No TikToks or YouTube shorts. Maybe the occasional YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
But I mostly just stream.
Okay. What is it about streaming that you enjoy so much?
That's a good question.
I have no
idea.
You're like, but why do you do it?
But other than the fact that like you can essentially get paid like maybe as pennies essentially for playing video games on live stream, because if you reach affiliate, you can make money off of that. But like I just like it's like back then when like a group of dudes or a group of homies got together and they had the camera rolling and they're all just doing like dumb stuff on camera with each other. Like it's time with the homies, and essentially that's what it feels like. Like that one parent that essentially records everything on VHS, for their kid.
But now it's on the internet forever.
And now it's on the internet forever. Yep, and people can make fun of me if they they ever find it. So
I mean, hey, you know what? Hopefully one day, like generations from now, they'll be like, "Oh man, I wonder who this Tiny Tanker person is," and they look it up, and you're like, "Oh god." Just like they find this podcast episode, and then they're like, "Oh no, who is this? Who's this? Why is he like this?" Yeah, dude. So I take it that you do enjoy content creation, but you don't really do much outside of just streaming, right? At least not yet.
Yeah, at least not yet. I also don't like making content alone.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean that explains this podcast episode.
Yeah. Like usually whenever I stream, I'll be looking for other hunters to play with. But Usually that never happens.
I mean, yeah, and then occasionally I'll find you streaming by yourself, and then I'll just hop in and message you and be like, "Hey, do you want to play? Do you want to play together? Like, are you bored? Are you bored yet?"
Yeah, it's not fun playing by yourself, man. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Some people like it, but I don't know, not me. Because like you could always do like dumb stuff together and die in dumb ways together, or like get the most like weird win in existence, where like you're all running katanas and bows and stuff, and you're just
Or baseball
shouting,
bats now.
Yeah, or baseball running around with baseball bats. You can do dumb stuff together, you know.
Understandable. Okay. This isn't really one of the questions on my list. Oh, excuse me. I had a hiccup and a burp at the same time.
Let it rip.
Rip. If you had to play a game that wasn't Hunt Showdown or Call of Duty, on stream, what would it be? Like, what are, I don't know, give me like two or three games that you would definitely like to switch over to stream.
Let's see. Ready or Not, but some of the missions are definitely not Twitch friendly.
Yeah, that's fair.
And 6 Days in Fallujah. I have high faith for 6 Days in Fallujah to become like a really, really good game.
I'll have to add that onto my list. I've never heard of that game, so I'll have to look that up. Probably me in post editing, I'll probably find a cover picture of it and slap it in.
Yeah, 6 Days in Fallujah, you play as the Marines during the GWAT era, Global War on Terror era. And essentially you go in and complete objectives and stuff. You got to go building by building. It's pretty realistic, dude. Like like Marines back, like, you know, in Call of Duty nowadays you have like red dots and holographic sights, you know, short barreled rifles.
Yeah, it's like more futuristic stuff like they had back in like Black Ops 3.
Yeah,
and 4.
but in 6 days you got bare bone stuff. You got iron sights rifle and explosives and body armor. And then Uncle Sam just says, "Go forth, child. Go kill the terrorists." That's you're basically just like given
just an objective, and you're
objective.
Like, all right, have fun.
Yep, essentially, yeah. But it's really fun with friends.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out. If I end up ever getting it, I'll definitely hit you up and be like, all right, let's do this. What was the other game you said other than 6 Days in Fallujah?
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. Is that like Prop Hunt?
Ready or Not is a police simulator, essentially.
Oh,
you deal with barricaded suspects, terror threats, bomb threats, school shooters, cartel, Russian mafia, the whole deal. It's practically a reflection of the real world we live in today. Real world problems such as weapons trafficking, drug trafficking, or drug smuggling, and like human trafficking. It's real. It's not for the faint of heart, I tell you what.
Okay,
because they don't hold back.
I mean, I guess I'll have to check that out. That also sounds interesting, especially with like, I wonder what their game rating is. It's probably M at least.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So thank you for the list of games. I guess that now I have to check those out. All right, let's see. How do you? The next question is, how do you determine the style, voice, and tone of your content? Which kind of like goes into like branding and stuff. Like how did you come up with the name Tiny Tanker, but also like what are your core values as a streamer that you're trying to, like, I don't want to use the term push, but like provide that people will just automatically associate with your brand, which is, you know, whatever your current logo is.
So the way I got my name was, so my dad's a CDL driver.
Mm-hmm.
And he drove around tankers that carried like fuel or chemicals or whatnot. And so he decided to name himself Mini Tanker because, well, you know, at the time he was a CDL driver,
Mm-hmm.
and he got 44 based on a number that's related to my birth, but I'm not trying to give that away. So, anyways, so yeah, he named himself TinyTanker44. Plus, I think due to the fact that he's a little short compared to most guys, so I guess that's why they called himself Mini. But anyways, he's Mini Tanker, and I decided that I was gonna be the Tiny Tanker 44.
You're like,
So
I'm even shorter. Let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm even shorter. Let's go. And so I decided to take the name, or to take the tanker name essentially upon myself, as like him passing the torch down to me. But I just kind of like picked up the torch from behind him and ran away with it.
You're like, this is mine now. Goodbye.
Yeah. But as for like my logo, I don't know how to explain it other than I really liked anime, but I could never find anime that wasn't sexualized in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have like dirty jokes in there. Like I just wanted to see people like fighting and stuff, like throwing hands and whatnot. But you could never really find that until I found like Demon Slayer. But
okay.
I made this.
Content's like PG-13 based, right?
Essentially, yeah. But I found Demon Slayer way before I decided to make my character, because I was thinking of some sort of like demon killing character because of my beliefs. And so I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna make like like some sort of demon hunter looking guy who carries a gun on him. Like multiple guns. He's got like a plate carrier on. He's got magazines and whatnot, and carries a cross on his back. So it's like a, I don't know. It's kind of like a weird, goofy thing that I decided to do.
Oh, okay. There is an anime out there that a guy does have a giant cross on his back that is also a giant gun. I'll have to tell you about it. I think it's called Trigun. But I'll give you more details on that later. I don't think it's very PG-13 like friendly, but that's up to you if you want to watch it sometime. All right, cool. So, like I was saying earlier, so most of your content is aimed towards like a G or a PG-13 rating, right?
Essentially, yeah. Like I just want to go around in video games and just shoot guns, build guns.
Yeah. So you don't really like swear on stream very much, or you try not to talk about certain topics on stream?
I tried not to swear. I used to swear a lot. But
it's okay, I swear all the time.
I used to swear a lot, but at that point I just like, I don't know, I just kind of gave up on it because I didn't think it was cool anymore. Because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to be cool. I was trying to be accepted, but then I realized,
trying to be cool and hip.
Yeah, like why would I start doing all that? Why would I say hateful things and whatnot? But it doesn't line up with my beliefs. Yeah, okay. I might get out of hand on stream sometimes. Like that one stream where the guy told me to go cheat on Asian servers.
Oh yeah, I was remember. Like, we were playing Hunt Showdown. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm better. I'm better.
I am better." Yeah. Insert the Homelander gif.
Yeah, insert the Homelander gif. But that I realized, it's a little prideful of me, and that goes against what I believe in. I'm not supposed to be prideful. But I got caught up in the moment, and I wasn't really thinking about what I was saying, and then I got a bit like heated about the fact that he thought I was a cheater, and maybe he thought I was an Asian, and he was telling me to go cheat on Asian servers, and I'm like, oh man, these people don't know this and that. So, and then I realized I don't really need to get mad, because that guy probably has his own problems. And then I hope that he can overcome those problems and, maybe be nicer to the next person in the future he loses to, Because, like, what's the point of being mean to somebody?
That's fair. If you had, like, a core message, what do you think it would just be?
A core message.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, some people have, like, a core message or, like, a mission statement of, like, what they're trying to achieve. For example, if you were to, like, pass away tomorrow, what would the message that you want to give to the world be?
I don't know if somebody else made this quote at all, but I just decided to coin it as my own. And I said, what's life without problems? And what I mean by that is, as human beings, let's look at this from a secular standpoint, right? As human beings, we're designed to solve problems. That's what essentially gives us something to do, right? Mm-hmm. We solve the problem of, I can't get there fast enough. How do I get there faster? We ride horses. What about even faster? We got cars. What if I need to travel faster over the water? We built a boat. We need to travel over water, but we don't want to touch the water. Well, we have planes now, right? We've solved problems, right? And so, essentially, if life had no problems, then there would be nothing for us to do, nothing for us to overcome, nothing for us to feel good about essentially defeating. So, I guess that's how I've always thought about it. Life is full of problems, and you're meant to solve those problems, no matter how difficult they are. We're manufactured to solve problems.
Mm-hmm. So life without problems I would just say
boring.
that, like, your mission statement is to
overcome your problems, no matter how hard it is and how long it takes, because at some point you will prevail.
Okay, that's a pretty good analogy. I was about to say something along those lines. I mean, that's a really good mission statement. I would definitely put that in your about section on Twitch. What advice would you give to somebody just starting out in your field, which for us is streaming, I guess, because you don't really make content on other platforms?
Don't even think about it.
It's like, don't do it.
Don't need that. That's not what I meant. Just don't think about it. Just press record and start goofing off. That's it. Just press record and then just have fun with it. And what's even better is when you have friends to do stuff with. That's what makes it better. If you got like a full Call of Duty squad and y'all are just goofing off.
Yeah.
And saying some out of pocket stuff on on the recording, so you guys can make fun of each other.
That's true. What I was gonna say is that, like, my personal advice for anybody starting out in streaming is, me as a person, whenever I started out streaming, I didn't really watch other Twitch content creators. Like, I didn't watch other streamers, so I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I made the very rookie mistake of going into other people's streams and being like, hey, I'm streaming, right? The very cringe thing that everybody tells you not to do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so my problem was that, like, whenever I first started streaming, I didn't know about the culture of Twitch. I didn't really know, like, what's the word? Etiquette? Twitch etiquette. I had to go look that up because I was like, and I felt so bad after the fact. And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I literally went back to every channel that I used to hang out and watch in. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean self-promo. I know better now. So that's definitely a thing that I would recommend. Like, when somebody's starting out, just don't go into Twitch raw. Like, actually just sit down, find some people that you enjoy watching, like find a game category or something that you enjoy playing and watching, and then just hang out for a while, right? Just hang out for like a week, like just keep watching their content, make some friends. Eventually you'll kind of understand the vibe from Twitch, like the community aspect of it. And then it'll be so much easier for you to gain your initial like 3 average viewers from like interacting in other people's communities versus what I did the really hard way where I just started streaming. I'd never watched a Twitch streamer in my life. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna make a Twitch and I'm just gonna hit live, and that was it. And I was like, oh man, that was so rough. That was so rough.
I think the first streamer that I actually saw was Ninja while he was on Mixer.
Oh yeah. Whenever he first went over to Mixer. So that's got to be different, like, because their chat was probably blowing up all the time, and then you become a streamer and you realize that like that doesn't happen.
Right.
For like 95% of people, you're just like, man, my chat is dead. What is happening?
Yeah. but like I didn't care about whether the chat was moving or not. I just wanted to keep pumping out content, like just raw content, me content, unfiltered content. So like, because so that people can know me and not some sort of online persona, essentially.
Okay, so that kind of leads into my next question, which is, are you a different person on and off stream or camera? So like, and this is brought to you by a question posed to you by a previous guest I've had on the podcast, Ghost in the Show. He's also a wonderful Filipino streamer and digital artist. So he makes like digital art. He does like Blender modeling and all of that. So every time I have a guest on, I usually try to ask for like, give me a question to ask the next guest, right? So Ghost was the last guest, and he said, are you a different person on and off stream or off camera?
No, I'm 100% the same.
So you just try to stay true to yourself, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I know some streamers, what they'd like to do is like they have like an idea of a brand they have in their mind, and then they're like, I'm gonna act this specific way, but only on stream, and then they turn off the camera and they're like, oh my god, that was so annoying. I know some people like that.
I don't want to deceive the people who watch me, because, well, I mean, I'm not a deceiver. That's why I can't play Among Us, right?
You're like, I'm totally not the imposter. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, because like, why would I put on a fake mask, right, and like have people follow that instead of, you know, actually connecting with me as a person rather than what, you know, what I've built that's really not me. Because then what's the point?
I mean, that's fair. In the long run, I think it would just bite you, like in the ass if you just didn't stick to like who you were in reality as a person. Because once again, streaming is a lot. It's just gaming. Well, it's not gaming. Let me rephrase that. Streaming is personality content disguised as gaming content, right? So people come in for a game, right? But then they stick around because you're like who you are because of your personality.
Yeah.
So if you were to like have a persona or a specific personality that you only constantly put out, eventually you'll slip up, right? So then you're just gonna be like, ah, man, and then it'll probably eat away at you. So I understand that philosophy of not trying to put on a show for people and just be yourself.
Right.
All right, cool. I have one more question for you. This one's by Youngster Joseph, which is another previous guest. He asks, if you had $1 million, how would you spend it?
Honestly, I I don't think I would spend it at all. I would throw it in a high yield savings account and let it marinate for a whole year. And then whatever interest that it makes, well then I can just live off of that.
I mean, that's fair. That's a very good idea. That's what I would probably do. I would probably also just like go make a stock trading account and just invest it, or
Mm-hmm.
become an angel investor, which is what, like, whenever someone's first trying to start out a business, like Shark Tank,
Yeah.
the show, where they're
Yeah.
just like, hey, I have this business idea, but I don't have the money to start it, right? So people come to you and you just go like, cool, I'll give you 30 grand for like a part of your company, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
to help them get started. So that's what I would probably do with that $1 million, because in the long run, if you did that, you would have like a percentage of their yearly income, a percentage of like their stocks and everything, which also appreciates over time, which means that you can get loans from banks to get even more money to give out to people.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would probably just do that, but putting it in a savings account's not a bad idea, especially if you're like living with your parents or something, or like where you're not really financially struggling that much.
Yeah. And even if I didn't take that $1 million, right, for myself,
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it to my parents because, well, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I got everything I need. I got a free bed, a free warm bed, free meals, and a roof over my head.
I mean, that's fair. That's a
Like,
good way to put that.
the least I can do is, help around the house, do dishes, clean the house, and whatnot. Because, well, I'm not doing anything. So, why do I need to be lazy? Why do I, why can't I pick up, some work around the house? And plus, my parents, or at least my mom, is pretty smart with money, so just give it to her.
Just be like, here, mom. I know, I've been a pain for the last 18 years of my life. You're 18, right?
Yeah, now I'm
Okay,
18.
cool. But just like, I've been a pain for the last 18 years of my life. Here's some money. Do something with it.
Essentially, yeah.
You'd like turn this into more money, preferably. But like, all right, cool. So that's really sweet. That's actually a really nice answer to that. Just kind of paying your parents back, in a way. All right, cool. So I have like one more question, but it's kind of like it. It's just basically, what's the question that you would want to ask a future guest? Like, what out of, like, that's different from the questions I've asked. Like, is there something specific that you'd want to know about a future content creator? Or like, do you have any questions for me specifically? Do you have any questions for like future guests?
Hmm. That's that's a good one, dude. Um, maybe like a question for the guests. Like I actually gotta think about this. Hold on. Um,
You're like 10 hours later.
10 later. Um, oh, okay. This one might start a bonfire or a forest fire, but let's see. Uh, it's a pretty simple one, but what opinion are you like hard set on and will not change?
Oh, like, what's a hill you would die
Well,
on?
yeah, what's a hill you would die on?
Okay, you know what? That's a really good one. I'm gonna put that into the questionnaire.
I mean,
I'll add that in afterwards.
I got my own. I
what
got my
what's the
own.
hill you would die on?
Uh, Christ is Lord.
That's fair. I think mine, the hill that I would die on is probably that, like, everybody in the world, no matter like how how bad they are and what they've gone through, I think everybody deserves to be loved, have like a roof over their head, free medical care, like housing, and like not be taken advantage of their whole lives.
Yeah, basic necessities.
Yeah. So that's the hill I would die on, is because I'm just like, I literally think that everybody deserves to be like taken care of, no matter who you are. Like, there's no reason that everybody should be homeless or starving all the time. Sorry,
like
my
food,
cat's kind of going nuts.
like food and water is not a privilege, but it should be a human right.
Yeah. So is medical care. Like,
Right.
That's so like underrated that people don't think about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Man, I'm surprised the kidnapper hasn't come back. This is kind of weird. We've been chilling here, tied up to these chairs, you know, in this weird but kind of nice looking abandoned building. I wonder where he went.
I think my arms are falling asleep.
You're like, my arms. I hope he comes back soon. I gotta poop. I'll imagine if the kidnapper just like force fed you like honey and milk, and then you're like, I have to poop. I can't go anywhere. I have to poop.
Imagine. But no, on another note, like I've recently been getting into like toast that's fried in butter, and then I put honey over it.
Sounds so good. Yeah.
But like my mom, okay, so she went to Sitka, Alaska, all right, and she picked up these two things of honey. One's like a regular small canister of honey, but the other one is pumpkin honey. So it's got like pumpkin puree and like an assortment of spices, and then honey mixed into it. And dude, I tell you what, it is it's the most immaculate toast spread of my life. All right.
I don't know. Have you had avocado toast? I don't know.
Avocado toast is busting, but like if you're looking for like a dessert toast, pumpkin honey is
pumpkin honey.
Pumpkin honey is crazy.
I've never heard of that.
It's
I
crazy.
have never heard of that. That sounds so good.
It's mind blowing.
That literally sounds so good. I might actually have to look up if there's a place around here that sells it.
And what's even better is if you use sourdough.
Ooh, sourdough bread? Oh yeah, dude, that sounds so good.
Freaking mint.
So, there's a this is gonna be like a random side tangent. But so growing up, have you ever like tried sweetened condensed milk on just toast?
No.
Oh, dude, try it. Like I used to have that all the time whenever I was in Russia as a kid. Like you get toast, you put a little bit of butter on it, and then you open a can of sweetened condensed milk, and you just take like a tablespoon and you just glop it on there. You spread it around. It's so good. It's so good, especially if you're drinking like hot tea or coffee in the morning. It's so good.
Okay, here's a weird thing I used to do, right? I used to take potato bread and dip it into chocolate milk.
That is a weird thing that I've never heard anybody do, but like, you know what? I might actually have to try that next time I go buy some chalky milk. You know, because I'm an adult and I can have chalky milk and dino nuggies all I want, all right?
Right, let's go. The dino nuggies. Dino nuggies.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So I guess that concludes the podcast episode, unless there's something else that you want to say or like ask.
No. I think I got everything out that I wanted to get out.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, and hopefully this will be out by like next week, which should be like the beginning of, where's it, January, February, March. So
yeah.
All right. Cool. So I guess this is it. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Chance of Negli-Gents Podcast. Thank you, TinyTanker44 TV, I guess. Is it your full username? Check him out.
Just TinyTanker44. But dude, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, dude. Shout out any of your socials that you have. So it's just TinyTanker44 on like Twitch?
Yeah, it's just TinyTanker44 on Twitch. I have an Instagram and a Facebook, but I don't really post there. I just like scrolling through the reels.
All right, awesome. I'll post the links and stuff like down here in the post video thing